Starting or what?
Well, it always starts because the intro, it fades in and we're already talking, so
that makes sense. That's
it doesn't
good.
really matter when it starts.
Okay, yeah.
So, but it's starting now!
That was scary.
Welcome back to 3 Media Junkies. I'm Austin.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Hunter.
Yes, Yes.
Yes.
Happy National Podcast Day.
We didn't even know.
Yeah, we just figured this out. It's on Spotify.
Like 5 minutes ago, we just figured it out. So, Happy National Podcast Day. What are the odds?
I don't know.
What are the odds? How are you guys feeling today?
Pretty good. I'm pretty excited to get this episode out. This is our first
Yes.
exciting one, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of crazy stuff going on, not just with the podcast, but just in general. This is a very stressful time period.
Yes.
We're in a different room.
Yes, well, it's a whole ordeal, but we'll be back in our regular room next week.
So it sounds different, that's why.
Yes, yeah. So, as you all know,
well,
I have
us two know.
Yeah, as the two of them know.
There's a crazy story he has to tell us.
I've been holding this story for the next episode of the podcast for probably over a week now.
Yeah.
I've been hyping it up to them, because it is probably it's still probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Jeez.
And it's all my fault.
Okay.
It's all my fault. It's
God.
probably the dumbest. You think me losing my keys at the game was bad?
Yeah.
This is a whole nother level. This is absolutely crazy. So,
Alright.
I'll introduce the topic after the story, but we need to get this out of the way.
I
Yeah.
really want to hear this story.
Okay.
Hopefully you find this entertaining too.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous to even. I don't like telling people about this.
The scary part
This
about
happened
this.
a week ago.
The scary
Yes.
part about this is that he told us that it affects us both.
Yes.
All three of us actually.
If it was worst case scenario, because it wasn't worst case scenario, but if it was, it would have affected you guys.
Alright, let's just go.
We would not be here today. I'll just say that. I'm dead serious. We would not be here today.
Well, we would be alive, just not here.
We would not be here today. Interpret that as you will.
Tell the story, come on.
Okay, enough hype. So, it was a beautiful sunny day, and I was ignoring all of it at Cave. I wasn't working. I was just there, just chilling after school. I think it was, it was after practice. And earlier in the day, I had made plans with my friend. He said once he gets out of, I think, what's a sport where you play video games? Esports. Yes, esports. Once he got out of esport practice, or whatever, that I would come pick him up. I'd bring him a coffee or whatever, pick him up, and we'd hang out for a bit. So, the story starts. I'm going to leave Cave to go pick him up. I have his coffee, right? On me, the possessions that I brought, because I was there for a long time, I brought my laptop, and I brought my... I like how Hunter's already reacting.
I feel like I already know how this is going to end.
I brought my laptop, and I brought my Nintendo Switch, because I was getting some work done, I'm pretty sure, for the podcast, and I was playing some whatever... Probably Hollow Knight, I imagine. So I'm leaving. I have his coffee. I have all my stuff, and I'm going to my car. And I get to my car, and I'm like, oh dang it! I forgot my keys back at Cave. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel like carrying all my stuff here. So I'm like, cause I was bringing him a frozen drink. I was bringing my friend a frozen mocha, and I was like, okay, well I don't want it to melt. So I found a shady spot on the ground to put it.
Oh,
interesting.
Luke has no idea where this is going.
Oh, God.
So I put his drink in the shade on the ground, and I just set my my laptop and my Switch on top of my car.
Oh my gosh, why?
Just for it to sit there.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Just for it to sit there while I'm running back to running back to Cave. All right. Okay. So I run back to Cave. I'm like, holy crap, I hope my keys didn't get stolen or something. They didn't. They're there. Happy ending.
Yay.
I go, I get back to my car. All my stuff's still there, thank God.
Wow.
Everything's still there, even the drink, it's fine.
Phew.
I get in my car and I leave. And I'm like, okay, I can't. I'm gonna be late picking this guy up, but I have his coffee and whatever. It's fine. I'm driving for a solid 5 minutes, and I'm like, wait a minute. Where's my stuff?
You did not. You saw it.
There is no way on the planet.
So I swear on everything. So this is a 100% true story. I did not make any of this up. I am driving and I'm like, oh my glob. That's not what I said. I was freaking out. I was freaking out and I'm like, oh my god. So I pull in to the library parking lot. I get out and I check the top of my car. So I was by the Barberton Public Library. And the switch is still there. The switch is still sitting on top of my car. My laptop is gone. And I'm like, oh my god.
No.
Where is my laptop?
How did the laptop is flat? The switch is like all bumpy. How did the...
I don't... It's probably because... Where's my case at? My case is somewhere, but it's a really hard case, so I imagine it might have helped keep it on top of my car.
Jeez.
I was driving with my stuff on top of my car for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And my laptop's just gone. I'm like, oh my god. I throw my switch in my car. I'm like, if this thing broke, if this laptop is gone, and this was before we uploaded our first episode.
Oh no.
So if this laptop broke, everything would have been gone. I don't know if there's a way I would have been able to get the footage or the recording. So keep in mind, in my mind, I'm thinking our podcast is at stake here.
Yeah.
My livelihood is at stake here. So I trace my steps and drive back every street that I went down. There's only like 2 streets because I'm going down the street that goes to the Barberton Public Library.
Also with the stress of having to pick your friend up soon.
Yes.
So you're on time crunch here.
And I see it sitting on the side of the road, and I'm like, oh my god.
Wow.
And there was a car in front of me, and I was like, please don't, please. I swear when I was driving, I thought I saw it run it over.
Oh,
I
really?
swear I thought the tire went over it. But there's no way because this laptop would have been smothered.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Jeez.
I get out of my car in the middle of the street. I just don't care about being hit by cars or anything. So I literally run over. I grab it and I'm like, there's no point in even opening this. It's gonna be shattered. It literally flew off of the top of my car. I open it. It's 100% fine.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, there's no way that just happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's insane.
So, let me get this straight.
Yes.
You saw the stuff on the top of your car as you were walking out, right?
Yes.
And you got into your car knowing full well they were up there, and then you forgot to grab them in your car.
Yeah, well, I didn't get in my car thinking that they were up there. I got in my car for some reason with the coffee. I was more worried about the coffee.
Yeah.
So
because you didn't want it to melt, you know?
Yeah. So,
the coffee's more important.
Right, exactly. So naturally, my brain forgot that I put all of my belongings on top of my car. And the only thing, I'll try and do this without making too much noise. Yeah. The only damage is this right here. This little thing is chipped a little bit.
Wow.
Jeez. That's the only damage.
I see what you're saying now. How he texted us and said it's like a story fell out of the sky. Because it's like
it's so insane. Like I wouldn't mind if you didn't believe it because it's so crazy. Like it, but I swear it did happen.
What's funny to me is that it could have gone so bad, but the fact that it got so close, but that's why I was like, it's the perfect. Yeah, I know.
Exactly,
There's no tragedy, and it was still very crazy.
Yeah,
and hilarious and funny too.
And that's how it would have affected you guys. We wouldn't be here because if my laptop broke. Podcast over.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we could have started fresh or something, but we wouldn't have had our first 2 episodes. I don't remember if our second one was recorded by then.
It wasn't. No.
No, it was recorded.
It was actually.
I remember it was before we. It was 2 weeks ago. It was the week that we were gonna go to your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, we were hyped for this. We were actually hyped for this story for 2 weeks.
That's right. Yeah, I remember it was 2 weeks.
The day before he texted us, we literally had a cross-country meet, and like, so he was there, and I was like, so I guess it's not so important that he didn't need to. I was trying so hard to piece together what this could possibly be in my mind.
Yeah. Did it come to anything close?
When I heard you say you left it on top of your car, I'm like.
Yeah. That's why I tried to say it so nonchalantly, like I put it on top of my car because I didn't want to give it away.
And I was still like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I tried swerving it to where like you wouldn't know where the story was going.
Yeah.
Like,
I
didn't want the coffee to melt.
So I did it with the coffee. So I put it in the shade. Focus on the coffee, not the computer and the switch. Exactly. The coffee is the most important part.
Yeah, you had 2 weeks to plan to tell that story, so you were like,
yes, I was, and I've already told it a few different times to other people. Just like I was just like. Cool. That's probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So,
that's awesome. With that out of the way.
Yes. The actual topic of the episode today is something that actually not any of us came up with. My compact teacher.
Yeah.
He's the one that thought of the base idea where it's like icebreakers and we ask questions that each of us come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's the entire idea. So he did come up with all of it. Now that I think about it.
There you go.
But yeah, so icebreakers, if you want to call it that. What's gonna happen today is each of us was assigned homework to think of 2 thought-provoking questions each. One media related and one not media related.
Yes.
And that's supposed to help introduce us as people a little more, I think. So yeah, that's basically the gist of today's topic. I hope you guys made some Shakespeare level questions.
Not Shakespeare, but they definitely are some.
I'm pretty proud of mine, and I'm gonna go first because I already answered one of my questions.
Yeah, I feel like I know.
So, well, actually, it's going to both of you. Whoever wants to answer it can go first, I guess. So this question is kind of generic, but I thought it fit the episode because of the story. Mm-hmm. What is the most embarrassing moment in your life? Because that was mine.
I think I'll go first here. I think that my most embarrassing moment is I can't really pinpoint an exact moment. Because I think it's more of just an embarrassing part of my like personality. You know what I mean?
Got it.
I tend to get really passionate about things that I like or things that I find funny, and then I'll try to tell like a joke that somebody else told, but I'll try to tell it, and it will just be me just like saying nonsense and stuff, and then everyone just be staring at me like, okay, I don't know what the point of that was.
Exactly.
Like some very specific ones are like in first grade, I think. I was at a friend's house.
Going deep to the loop more.
I was at a friend's house in first grade, and they were like talking about a TV show they liked, and I was like, oh, have you ever seen, I think it was the show I was into was Inspector Gadget. And I was trying to explain the plot of this show, but I was just like talking, like they were all just staring at me, and I just kept talking for 10 minutes. And then I still look back on that to this day and think like that was so cringy and dumb and embarrassing.
That was the most embarrassing thing you've ever,
because
really?
I think also for me, like, because that was a bit more like, oh, that was just so like cringy, like everyone just thought I was so weird in that moment, because like falling over, because I fall over all the time, I'm very clumsy, I drop stuff. I don't find that embarrassing because I also find it funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's more of an exact moment, but that also happens a lot and still happens today, so I'll just start rambling and I'll just be like,
I will follow this up with this was going to be my original answer for this question before I thought like the story fits it, but this literally just happened like an hour ago when I was leaving work. Every time I leave that place, something bad happens. But this isn't that embarrassing, but I was definitely like on the ride home I realized, and I was like, oh god. So one of my coworkers, who I don't work with her very much, so this is understandable, at least I think. I called her by the wrong name as I was leaving, and I didn't realize in that moment, and she was like bye, like kind of rudely a little bit, but not like, just like in a weird tone.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, screw you. And then on the ride home, I was like, oh, it was the wrong name.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, so that was kind of embarrassing, but yeah. Anyway, Hunter, it's your turn.
I don't even know what my most embarrassing moment was.
If you need a minute,
Yeah.
Most embarrassing.
Gotta sift through all the embarrassing moments, just
Yeah.
constant.
Yeah.
The catalogs.
Yeah.
Catalogs of. I don't even know.
Come on, you gotta get something.
Gotta think of something. I mean, don't think about it too hard. Like, just what you can remember as embarrassing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be like, oh, this one, just embarrassing.
Well, I guess it's like kind of embarrassing for the at the time because like this was when I started getting into like anime and stuff like that.
Okay.
I would technically consider myself the weird anime kid, but not like extremely weird. But
all right, answer over those pretty embarrassing. No,
I'm
just kidding.
That's my most embarrassing moment
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
But no, like, I just like used to love anime, or I still do. But like, when it used to be like embarrassing, I would say for like if you talked about anime in front of people, like people like make fun of you or something like that. That was like my one of my more embarrassing moments.
That's one of those things that like people I feel like sometimes need to get over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stereotyping people. Oh, this kid likes anime. He's weird.
Exactly.
You know.
Right.
I feel very passionately about a lot of those things.
Yes. Because like with you specifically, you like video game music
I
and
talk
stuff
about
like
this a lot.
that, and I guess just video games in general kind of have like a bad rep, which is
Yeah.
obviously not allowed here.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you talk bad about video games, then you know what? You're not allowed here.
Yeah. Why would
Yes.
you listen to our
We
podcast?
don't want you.
Yeah.
Just to make fun of us.
Yeah.
Luke.
Some people do like hate watch other people,
Yeah.
so it's like
You're getting.
that's why in our first
Anyway.
that's why in our first poll last episode I had yes, I love you or die. And I wanted to see who genuinely wants us to die.
Yes, I love you or die.
Yes.
Take it literally, your question.
All right, so Luke.
Oh yeah, I'll go next.
Present your first
So
question.
this is my media-related question.
Got it.
And this is a bit more of an opinion question, I guess. Do you prefer long-form television, like shows that have like many seasons, anime, I guess, or do you prefer movies?
Shows 100%. What about you, Hunter?
Wait, okay, so I think shows is a good one, but like my problem with shows sometimes is like certain animes, I would say, is when like the anime, I'm like getting really into the anime, and it's like maybe like 12 episodes long. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, and then it's over.
It's like it's over. Yeah.
Yes.
Long
Yeah.
form.
Like
I think anime or shows.
long shows. I go back and forth on this one because long form TV definitely, because when you have more free time, it's easier to watch a big long show. But I think that movies, I would pick a show over a movie, but I would pick going to like the theater over watching a whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the experience of being in a theater, like you only can focus on the movie. There's no other like distractions or anything. That's
why
love that
I've
feeling.
always thought of, and I don't understand why it's become such like a regular thing to not do this within the industry. But I don't understand why, like, for big series finales or something, I know usually they're only, like, an hour, but why can't they have it in the theaters?
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool, especially because it's a whole show ending. I feel like it has much more purpose than just, like, a, one-hit movie.
Yeah.
But I do prefer shows just because I feel like the pacing, usually is done a lot better because they have much more time. In movies, especially recently, I just feel like movies are really, it's just sequels, remakes, adaptations. I feel like movies haven't had a lot of new ideas or stuff like that. When it comes to stuff like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or any movies like that, if movies like that came out all the time, I would 100% like movies more. But unfortunately, not everybody can be that good, so I prefer shows more.
Like Boots and Boots.
Yeah.
Yes, that movie is great.
Movie's so good.
That's a movie and a show.
True.
Something like that, right?
Yeah,
I think,
the whistle.
Yeah, kind of exactly like that.
I can't really do the whistle.
All right.
Something.
I can't whistle for the life of me, so.
Yes.
Next question.
All right, Hunter.
Okay. What are your top 3 favorite game concepts or tags if you use
Okay,
Steam.
so genres,
Like
kind of.
genres.
Okay.
Got it.
I have
Luke,
a list right here.
Luke, do you know your answer?
This is hard because I want to say horror is obviously probably number 2.
Mhm.
Close number 1, but number 1. I feel like for me, like I love when games, especially horror games, do a good job of having interesting stories, making you think about characters and the lore of things, which is really good. But horror games also often the gameplay isn't. It's because it's focused on storytelling. So in a horror game, the gameplay is just like, okay, walk around and like do this task, find
Yes.
these things, you know.
And a lot of it's like really jump scare-esque too.
That too, yeah, it relied on jump scares, which is why some game series have done a really good job of creating not only lore, not only like scary atmospheres and like, environments, but also like the lore itself is scary. Like Bendy and the Ink Machine, which I've played since Hunter's Rant.
Mhm. Yes.
Like how like it's scary when you're in it, but it's also scary to think about like there are like these ink, creatures. So yeah, that I know horror I'm pretty in depth on, but I think other than that, like number 1 would have to be like Metroidvanias probably. 2D or 3D, I think that those are because I can really get into those games a lot. And third would be 3D platformers like Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this isn't really a genre, but if it was, is indie a genre?
Well, indie would be my number 1, but I think
Yeah.
indie games kind of encompass a lot of other genres.
That's true. So, if indie counted as a genre, that would definitely be it.
I think too.
It's more of a concept or a tag.
Yeah.
Concept.
AAA games compared to indie games, just like I just am immediately just ugh. Like, AAA, it's just like obviously there's really good AAA games, but they're very few and far between.
Quality over quantity.
Yes. So, I think my favorite genre. Oh God. Well, as you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my favorite game.
Yeah.
And Western is my favorite film genre.
Yeah.
But Red Dead is really like the only game that is a Western. There's not many other ones, and if there are, they're not that popular or good.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say, and I don't know what this genre would be called, but any game, I'll throw out some examples, explain why they relate to each other. Like Dark Souls, Subnautica, Hollow Knight, pretty much any game where it has like an in-depth world that you get to explore at your own free will.
Yes.
So explorer based, whatever that kind of genre would be, open world ish. Well, not exactly, because Hollow Knight isn't open world. Dark Souls is an open world. So Dark Souls is like level based. Subnautica is pretty open world.
That's where
I think
Elden Ring comes in.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, so anything exploration heavy is definitely my favorite. What about you, Hunter?
Yeah. My number 1 is open world because I like being able to explore like Subnautica and stuff like that.
Okay. So, all right. Nice.
And also Elden Ring, obviously. And then I have survival horror, which is also Subnautica, and
yeah, I didn't think about survival horror.
Yeah, because I like Subnautica because that's also technically a survival horror.
The Forest.
The Forest definitely is definitely one of those.
Wait, so what actually is your favorite game?
Favorite game?
Oh yeah.
We never.
Is it Bendy or? I think we all just assumed it was Bendy after
episode
episode 1.
because you put it on the S tier, so.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite game. I like a lot of games.
It's actually pretty admirable.
Yeah.
Bendy is like one of my top favorite games, but
I'm not gonna lie, Hollow Knight's competing for first place. It might just because I'm in the craze right now. But
I said Breath of the Wild is my favorite, but I've starting to fall out of that. Not just because of Hollow Knight, but I think because I've also been playing Hollow Knight since episode 2, like a lot.
Yes.
Like they came over to my house and watched me play it
for like 8 hours.
Yes.
it was the most fun I've had.
Yeah, not only is it like Hollow Knight is an amazing, fantastic game, it's also opened my eyes to make me realize how there are so many games that are better than Breath of the Wild. I've just been so ingrained in it having to be my favorite game for so many years.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to realize, like, I need to really think about it.
That's kind of how I am with Red Dead. It's like, a main factor in why it's still my favorite game is not. It is because it's genuinely my favorite game, but it's also been my favorite game for so long, and I'm so loyal to it.
Yeah.
To where it's like I've had so many experiences on the game, online and story, to where it's just like, it feels wrong to not have it as my favorite.
Sure.
Even when I'm enjoying a different game like Hollow Knight more. But yeah.
Yeah, there is recency bias too, which is important to consider.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And then I have one more, but also I love how the fact that we went into a completely different topic.
We did,
which was great because we had more conversation for the podcast,
exactly.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
Wait,
are we gonna go?
Well, I also have to explain my because I don't know. It's not just Bendy, because Bendy is like it's one of my favorite games, but I don't really, as I said, I don't really have one. It's like Subnautica, because they're very different games. So like I can't really say I have a favorite one because all the games that I play are very different from each other.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I guess going back to the question, my last one is, or my third place is first person, because a lot of games that I play are first person.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Got it. First person. Okay. That shooters. If I had to pick a least favorite, shooters would probably be mine. I know that hurts your soul, but
I haven't really played much recently.
Yeah, I've just never. I don't know. It's just I don't know why. I just never get into it. So, but I think that brings it back to me for the next question. Now, this is the question that I'm most proud of. I really thought about this one.
Scared.
So, this one's kind of deep.
Oh,
so
here
be
we go.
prepared.
That's gonna really. My next question is not deep.
Yeah, okay, it's fine, but it'll balance it out.
Okay,
yes. Next question. What moment in storytelling, can be video games, TV, shows, movies, anything. What moment in storytelling do you feel genuinely impacted or changed your life, and why?
So, I have a lot, but the one that always comes to mind, and the one that I like to talk about, is Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I experienced the ending of the finale of Undertale, and I suppose it's unconventional, but I think other people have also experienced it. I was watching a Let's Play, so I wasn't actually, I didn't play the game and experience it for myself. I forget what Let's Play I was watching, but I was playing another game in the background, and I was playing the other game, and then I just paused the game and was watching, and Undertale was my first indie game I also got into.
Mm-hmm.
And first, big storytelling game, game that wasn't just supposed to be fun, it was. And the moment at the end, spoilers by the way, the moment at the end when Frisk hugs Asriel, as a person, when they hug, I remember as soon as I saw that, my eyes started tearing up, because I was like, wow, this is emotional and incredible and so well told, and it's in a video game. It's not a book, it's not a movie, and I was like, wow, video games are an important form of storytelling, and I think that in the future, when people look back, because, right now people are like, oh, books, movies, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think, when we're adults, people are going to be like, yeah, video games, that's an important
definitely.
I hope so,
even in the past decade, they've gotten so much more respect as people, and even with other things, just technology and, YouTube content creating, that's, actually considered a profession, whereas, maybe 10 years ago, you're a YouTuber, it's so you don't have a real job right now? So it's it's like that, so good answer. Good answer. Nice. What about you?
Wait, the question was, what was the question again? Sorry.
What moment in storytelling, can be video games, TV shows, movies, do you feel genuinely impacted or changed your life, and why? A specific moment.
Why do you have such questions like this, man?
Yeah.
There's so many
really
endings to games.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's whichever one affected or changed you the most.
I think I read books, dog.
I guess not.
Dang, this is actually difficult. I think.
Oh. Yeah,
okay. Well, you think yours? Okay.
Okay.
So. I have one for games, and I have one for shows, because two impacted me really heavily. I I don't know if I'd say it changed my life. I guess in a way because media is genuinely my passion, and I feel like these helped like create that feeling for me. But for the first one, it's a really specific example of when I was playing a game, and it wasn't an actual like, oh, that's right. I guess I did put storytelling, but this one, it wasn't technically a storytelling moment. It was more of a gameplay moment, actually, where I was playing Red Dead, and I was playing Red Dead Online because I played a bit of Red Dead Online before I actually played the story. So I was playing Red Dead Online, and I was hunting because you can hunt and sell whatever you hunt to a butcher in town if they have one. And basically what I would do to basically transport these deer I was hunting to back to town, because I would have to go to the area where they like were most in basically, and I would have to hunt them, and how I would transport them back to the town is I would wrap them in a lasso, get on my horse, and drag them while I was riding my horse. So I did this for multiple days. This was a time where I didn't have much to do other than play the game, so I was farming this money a lot. There's much better ways to make money in the game, so this was just me learning. So this was a huge learning moment. So I was dragging these deer with my lasso, and they were just dragging in the dirt. And I would get back, I would sell it, do it again, just keep getting money and money because I needed money. And basically, this life-changing moment is when I realized that this whole time, you can mount the deer on the back of your horse. You don't have to drag them.
This is life-changing.
So this is life-changing because there is a deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah,
other than,
I can kind of sense what you're getting at here.
So it really like impacted me because I realized what that was one of the first moments where I really learned something in a game, and I like felt accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, now I can have a horse I can have a deer on my horse and drag another deer behind me and make it more efficient.
There you go.
And now I was making double the money.
Yeah.
And at the point in the game that I was at, which was basically level 0, that made me a lot of money because I, was making less, I was making better decisions and more efficient decisions. But an actual storytelling moment.
Yeah.
Show-wise, it would probably be my first ever viewing of the Breaking Bad finale, and it's why it's one of my it is my favorite show ever, and it was just the whole episode in general. It's my favorite episode in the whole show, just because I feel like it has so many parallels to the very first episode. It really just tied everything together in such a neat fashion.
Yeah.
And it still had like huge game-changing moments even in the final episode.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really impressive, and it made me realize not only how good the writers are, but how good writers can be. And it really inspired me a lot to really start writing and trying to not do what they did, but do something to that level to where it's like, everything is just perfect. I think Breaking Bad is the perfect show. Okay. I don't think there's a single thing that I would change about it. Even if you could view something as a negative, I still don't think I would change it because they just made the show, and I just feel like there wasn't a single thing wrong with it. Do you think about your answer yet, Hunter?
So, I don't have a video game one, since obviously...
That's fine, it could be anything.
Yeah, I don't play much, like, story video games. Like, I mean, obviously I do, like, with Bendy and stuff like that. That's, like, story, I guess. But an anime that I watched, Hunter x Hunter, I don't know if you've watched it.
I watched the first episode of Hunter x Hunter, and No more.
And no more.
You need to watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
I got to an arc called the Chimera Ant arc.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start off a little bit with just the arc itself. And, like, I'm not
Okay.
gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I kind of just thought it was kind of boring towards the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and then towards like throughout the thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is deep because
Yes.
basically, they were trying to help this one guy. I'm not gonna like say who it is because if you're gonna watch it, I want you to not be spoiled.
All right.
Well, kind of spoiled because something happened. Something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
But he tells them basically to go away because the one of the chimera ants are like coming to attack them,
Got it.
and he pushes them out of the way. He loses his arm, and they run away, and so the guy obviously dies because he's by himself fighting this like really strong person.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses this one thing which I didn't even know what it was, but like basically can make him be reborn at some point.
Okay.
But this is not really like big thing. I don't even know why I'm saying it. Anyways,
Okay.
it cuts the shot of the chimera ant holding the guy's head and
Oh.
stuff. But also
That's-
Gon,
ooh.
the main character, it just sits there and just is sad as all ever be because he's like, I couldn't do anything. I just sat there. I just ran away. I got in his way. I didn't do anything. He's just sad. And Kilo was just trying to like help him. Like, it's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then later on in the show, he has this one thing where he can use all like he made a pact with like I can't remember I don't know what the name of the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, if you use it in the way that you intend it to be used, it works properly. But if you don't use it the way it's intended, it basically just kills you.
Okay.
And what he did was that he had a pact with it that gave him all the strength he would have through years of training, in the matter of minutes or moments, and towards like the ending of the arc, he went to go save the guy that died, obviously, but he obviously saw what happened to him because he was put back together by the person or the chimerian that killed him, but not the same way because he was technically already dead.
Got it.
And he took the chimerian back to where he was, and the chimerian goes, "I can't save him," and Gon just uses it just like it's so angry, just like and just becomes this huge version of himself, like older version, and at one point his arm gets like cut off.
Yeah.
And he uses his ability with his arm cut off, so it's like it has his blood and the nen at the same time through his arm.
Yeah.
And it's just so sick, but it's also really sad because after that he loses all of that and he just like becomes like a husk basically.
Okay.
And the reason why I say it changed my life a bit is like it shows like that you at some point in your life that you might have to sacrifice so much just to try and save a friend, and if you can't, still sacrificing as much as you can.
Yeah, I think to an extent also like you're just gonna have to make sacrifices in life anyway, and that people will stand up for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's definitely an extreme example, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is an important thing to remember and to think about, I think. Yeah.
Yes, that was a good answer. Good answer. The thing that blew my mind the most about it was because I don't think you gave context about it beforehand, but the ant talking, I was like,
yeah, I was
what?
confused.
Oh, because they're not technically ants. Do you know what chimera is?
I thought no, I don't know.
Chimera is like it's kind of like stuff put together.
Oh, isn't it like a lion with a snake on it with wings and it has a
Oh.
horn?
That's basically a chimera, but basically what the chimeras are is it's like a mixture of different like animals and stuff like that.
Got it.
Oh,
And
okay.
as they started using they started attacking humans at one point, and which is why I didn't really like the arc, because before this arc, I mean the show had like blood in it. It was like it had like small amounts of blood, and the thing I didn't like about the arc is like I don't really care much for blood, but it was so excessive, like almost every single minute. It's like blood here, blood here, blood here. I'm like, why so much? There isn't need for this.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Alright, well, I got into my
Keep
question.
on trucking.
I'm excited for my question.
Next
This is gonna be funny,
question.
I think. If a genie gave you one wish, what would it be? So you don't have 3 wishes. You have 1 wish.
Oh.
Okay, just 1 wish.
Yes.
Bro, it just got deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought about my answer for this for many years because I think I'm very smart. If a genie like appeared and was like, "Okay, you have 1 wish," I would say, "I wish I could do anything," and then I could do anything, and that would be it. I could just do whatever I want.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have to waste a wish. Wouldn't have any drawbacks. I could just do anything. I could just snap my fingers and become a god. Like, you know.
Okay,
So that's a good idea.
So this is a very good question because it's very lighthearted. It's funny. It's a party question, you know, to ask people when you want funny responses. If a genie gave me 1 wish, I'd probably wish that he'd bring my dad back to life.
Okay.
Awkward.
I told you, very funny questions.
I thought my answer was hilarious.
Yes.
I outsmarted the genie.
No, seriously though, if I actually was given 1 wish by a genie, I've always thought about it, and I was like, you know, why not wish for like all of my dreams to come true and like to like, you know, all of my passions to flourish and I actually make an impact on like the world. But I don't think I'd ever wish for that because that's something I feel like you need to earn. And it's like it's more of like a principle thing where I wouldn't feel like it would be as fulfilling if I just got all of that in a wish. So I feel like that's something I really that is really a part of me. Honestly, I don't know what I would wish for. It probably would be something stupid though, like invisibility or flight or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of superpower.
Oh, okay.
Some superpower, probably.
Now you make me read. My whole life, I've thought about this my whole life. Oh, I would say I would wish to do anything. But now I'm thinking about it, and now I'm on this whole existential crisis now.
Yeah, it's just like...
it wouldn't feel fulfilling,
Yeah.
And this is...
And also, like, if you could do anything, you would have a whole rest of your life to miss out. Because if you do anything, obviously you'd, like, probably end global warming and fix all the problems in the world and for yourself and make yourself the perfect person.
Yeah.
Because
it would be like going into spectator mode.
Right.
You know what
you
I mean?
don't actually do the work, so it doesn't
It would
feel
be
like you...
going into creative mode in Minecraft.
Exactly. But in this, I'll let you answer, I swear, Hunter. This also kind of relates to it. My first answer, and it's a little deep, but I actually, like... I was joking. I wouldn't like, and it sounds kind of messed up when I say it. But and this goes for really any deceased relative. If I was given the chance, I don't think I would like bring them back unless it really depends on circumstances. If it was like, you know, like a little sibling or something, and they died unnaturally or something, and it was like. It was really, like, it was something that, like, you know, obviously all death sucks. But in some cases, it's to the point where it happened for a reason. And I am one of those people that believes everything does happen for a reason. And I feel like death is a huge part of life. So, I don't think it's something. And it's one of those stereotypical don't go in the past and change time or whatever. I don't think... it's really a good idea to, you know, and obviously if that was even possible, it'd be a whole other can of worms with like what they would think. If they're brought back from the dead.
Come on.
Yeah.
I was having a good time up in heaven.
Exactly.
Had everything I wanted.
Yes. So okay, sorry, Hunter. You can answer now.
Bro just got philosophical. What, bro? I was gonna say something about how when I got to my turn, I was gonna say something about how like with your 2, I'm like when you said something about how you would wish for like all your dreams to come true. I'm like, I mean, I would. That's how I used to think, but I'm like, and then I got like older. I'm like, I would not want to wish that because I'm like, I have everything already done, and I don't really want to do anything.
Exactly.
And
I never thought about that either.
And being able to do anything, like, that's kind of boring too. I used to think that way too.
After like a week, I'd just be like,
And I do feel like people are more motivated by things that seem out of reach as well.
Oh,
So it's like...
For sure.
It's also like, so say you're... This might be a bit of a paradox, but say you're given a wish, and you wish that you're able to achieve everything you can achieve. Or everything you want to achieve.
Yeah.
I feel like, at least for a lot of people, they still wouldn't achieve that. Like, it doesn't come true instantly. The wish is they can achieve that thing.
Oh, yeah.
So just knowing that they can, I feel like, is already a big downside.
Yeah.
To doing it, because that's a huge thing. You want to feel accomplishment afterwards, like
Yeah.
you did the impossible.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like it's kind of a paradox a little bit, but yeah.
Like, if you know you're going to, like, win.
Right, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, there's no suspense, there's no, like, you know.
You won't be telling that story for ages.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not going to feel as special.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I would choose is probably, like, sound really dumb to, like, everybody.
Okay.
I wouldn't choose anything. I wouldn't wish for anything. I mean, obviously, I wish for stuff. But
Well, wish for
I
something
don't-
stupid, like cake or something.
Yeah,
No.
like, you wouldn't wish for, like, a lifetime of cake or something?
Ooh!
No, I don't think I would really wish for, like, really anything. Because, like, it's really hard to explain why I wouldn't wish for anything. It's like,
Because you're grateful for what you
why
have.
wish for something? Like, why do you need to wish for something? Like, just
Yeah, everybody
live
else.
your life.
Everybody else in their life gets by just fine with what they have, so why would you
Exactly.
need anything else?
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that I wish for, but, like,
I'm crossing this question off.
obviously,
my notes.
I'm just gonna, like, wait.
Never ask this question
there
again.
is-
Got it. Great.
Because there is stuff I do wish could happen,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, if I was given the chance for the wish to actually happen, I would not
Mm-hmm.
redeem the wish, because, like,
Yeah.
one wish isn't gonna make every wish that I wanted to come true.
Yeah.
It's only gonna be one, and there's so much more stuff I would wish for.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I waste one wish on only
Right.
able to do one thing when I could?
My brain shut off. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. You're losing me.
Yeah, so you wouldn't wish for something because there's so much you want to wish for, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
Oh,
I
took
get
it a
it.
different way.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
grateful for what I have, or no, I need. There's too much I need.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, too specific. I see what I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very
That-
difficult to make.
I
Yeah.
was. Why did you ask this
I
question?
don't know. I
It's
thought it
very
was funny.
difficult.
I literally was like, oh, this is gonna make people laugh. They're gonna wish for like money or something, and they're gonna tell us what we're gonna do with their money.
Philosophical.
No, instead we were
I'm
just
the one
like,
that got philosophical one.
Yeah.
I think we all three of us did. Well, all my philosophies were stepped on and buried in the dirt, but that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay,
Yes.
Luke.
It's okay. No one cares.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
okay.
okay. We don't
I'll just
care.
go live in the hole with my philosophies.
Yes. Okay. So Hunter, you have the last question, I believe.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make this one really difficult. I'm
No.
kidding now. It's not that difficult. It's pretty easy. Other than video games / media, what are your favorite things to do?
Oh, okay.
Favorite things to do.
Probably should have started with this one. This
Yeah.
after all that enlightening discussion, now we're just like, okay, so what do you guys like?
Well, I guess it does. You know, a little
Well, you
light,
guys
a
have
little
no-
easy one at the end.
yeah.
I guess I'll go first. So my favorite things to do. Probably my favorite thing to do ever is writing and just storytelling in general, creating.
I notice you have a lot of Stephen King books around here.
Yes.
Which I know that seems off topic, but like he's a good storyteller, and I feel like
Yeah.
I can see, you know, that's one of the things. You know.
I love reading. That's another one of my favorite
Mhm.
things to do. That I feel like I don't know why, but it's such a personal thing that I just like keep it secret from everybody else.
I do
Like,
too.
I don't tell anybody that like how much I love reading most of the time, just because like I don't know, it's just something so personal to me. Like when I open up a book and I'm like in my room, like I have to be in my room. I have to, you know, just be chill and just by myself and just read. Just because it's I don't know, it's like more deep storytelling that like connects to me as a person. Compared to everything else, at least. Just because I feel like, I guess a big part of it is books. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like I'm the only person seeing this story, because when it's like shows and stuff, it's like a million other people have seen this and all of that, and I feel like books make it much more
You
personal.
have more connection.
Yeah, especially with like our culture, in which like books are for nerds. Nobody reads books anymore. It's the new age people. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it's much more personal. So writing, reading, anything to do with storytelling, and
or observing storytelling.
Yes, and video games.
I like to read a lot too, but I think that it's easier for me to read in the summer and in the like when I have a break, because when I have school, my brain is going a million miles an hour. I don't have time to sit down and read.
Yeah.
But I read like 3 book series last summer. And like I told you guys, I
Jeez.
love to read Sherlock Holmes. I read every single Sherlock Holmes book.
Yeah.
And I think, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily what I like to do with my free time. Besides, obviously video games would be what I would say, but I think that that's too obvious. I think that in my free time, this is kind of like a basic thing to say, but I enjoy just like spending time with other people. So like going over to others' houses, or having fun going to ice cream, or running cross country, and just like that kind of stuff. Because I'm such a huge extrovert, and that gives me like energy, and that makes me happy to laugh with people and to like hang out with people and to be around people who like talking to you. So that's probably what I would choose to do like with my free time when I'm not like playing video games and stuff. Obviously,
I do understand where you're coming from too, because this is a little off topic, but when you said like when you brought up cross country, I feel like, and I think about this a lot, like probably the sole reason I'm in cross country is because of like the team building.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you're a part of something other than just wake up, go to school, work, whatever. It feels like you.
At the end of the day, you get a little.
And even though I don't like most of it, like being in pain.
That's not fun.
It's worth it because you get
You're going through the pain with other people.
Yes, and you interact with other people and make all these friends, and it just feels like a close-knit family.
Yeah.
Even though, we all get along.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yes. Yeah.
No, we all get along.
Yeah. But so I understand where you're coming from. I don't know if you were done talking, so keep going.
I'm done.
Okay. So Hunter, you can answer your own question, I guess.
Mine sound very close to yours.
Oh, okay. Really? Really?
Even though I'm
Go on.
I know. We were like completely different. I'm an extreme
Yeah.
introvert, but I do have a little bit of extroverted self. But like most of this is like small groups. So this is what I mean.
Okay.
This is what I mean by this. So I have hanging out with friends, which is small groups, not like huge, like multiple like people, like more than like maybe 4 or 5 people.
Okay.
Running, obviously, because we all do that.
Yeah.
And playing D&D when I'm able to.
Oh.
With like a normal sized group.
Yeah.
That's
something I've always wanted to get into, as well as D&D, because I feel like that's a very unique way of storytelling, and I feel like it still gets a very bad rep. It's like,
definitely.
Yeah. Why'd you look at me like that? Like, oh yeah.
I think you know. That's okay. I was actually very interested to hear your answer, Hunter, because if I'm being honest, I don't really know what you do with your free time. Well, I'm not trying to be like offensive, but like.
I like how you said that.
Yeah, I guess that kind of came out as like a truck when it meant to come out of I don't know. Anyway,
more of a SUV, not a truck.
To be fair, it's more of stuff when I'm not playing video games.
Yeah, because that's how
doing
I was like,
media.
Obviously, it's like YouTube, video games.
Yeah.
So like I was like, I wonder what Hunter does. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like the only other thing I like doing is. Like,
yeah.
If it's not video games or media, it's hanging out with friends or running or hanging out with friends, and 2 times because it's D&D and hanging out with friends.
Or hanging out with friends, D&D and running.
Yeah. At the same time.
That would be awesome.
Just rolling the dice as we go.
Yeah.
So Grafnar goes here.
Nice
You're
reference.
casting spells as you're running,
I want to use fireball.
I don't understand how D&D works.
Yeah.
Just a loser.
Well, I think you can cast spells, I imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah, it's like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They have a D&D movie.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And a game. Baldur's Gate, yeah.
Isn't it? D&D is a game, right?
Well, D&D itself is a game, but they also made video games.
Baldur's Gate is D&D.
Baldur's Gate, and they also made a movie.
You didn't know Baldur's Gate was Dungeons and
D&D.
Dragons?
It quite literally is just Dungeons and Dragons. You have to roll a dice to do stuff.
Is it like made by the people who made Dungeons
I don't know
and Dragons?
anything
There
about
is
it.
no really like people that made Dungeons and Dragons. It's more of
So
like
who owns the license?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'll look it up though, because I don't think it wasn't really made by the people that made D&D. Because like D&D is like more of like a.
What are we talking about anymore?
I would say a franchise is D&D, because it's not really like made by anyone. I mean, obviously they have stories that they already made up.
Yeah.
But you can also make your own stories.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I know nothing about D&D, but
I
I feel like I would like it. It's one of those
You
things.
definitely would.
Yeah.
And we totally don't have an episode planned about that.
That's why I made that
They're
face
not
at you.
supposed to know.
That's why I made that face at you.
Oh.
Because it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Okay.
Well, I guess it's owned by Hasbro, but you know,
Oh.
screw Hasbro.
You mean people that made the gummy bears?
No,
It's
Haribo.
Haribo.
Oh, Haribo. Okay.
Hasbro. It's by Wizards of the Coast. It's part of. It's a sub company. Of
Which one came
Hasbro.
first, Haribo or Hasbro? Because
Let's look that up.
oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Which
we gotta wrap it up
first?
here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We done all the questions. What,
Yeah.
We got through all the questions. Good.
I think people are gonna
Congrats.
listen to us look things up on the internet.
I mean, honestly, it's not that bad. We're
After talk. You
Yeah.
know, after talk.
It's some behind the scenes stuff.
Haribo
man.
were in
Yes.
Germany.
What?
Invented in Germany in 1920.
Which
What
one?
are you talking about?
Which one was invented in Germany?
Help!
Haribo.
We're
Oh,
going down a
Haribo?
deep rabbit hole,
I
you
said
guys.
that. I said Haribo.
I
Oh,
actually
okay.
knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up now, or what? I'm gonna
Luke,
wrap-
yeah, Luke's excited. Okay. Well, Luke, you do have a big day ahead of you.
What?
Have
Like a
fun.
homecoming.
And to
Have
answer
fun.
the next question, 1945 was Hasbro.
1945. Okay.
Okay.
So Haribo came first.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Gummy bears first.
Done. There's no more
Gummy
branching
bears
paths.
first.
Yes.
The side quest is over.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we are.
Out of time.
Yes, we actually. We'll talk about it afterwards, but we did really well, time wise.
good.
So, as I don't imagine there's any final thoughts you guys have to offer.
I don't think so.
Luke, have fun at homecoming.
Uh-huh.
Hunter, thank you for being a loser like me and not going.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Mm.
Anyways. Yes. And to all the viewers that are going to homecoming, because I imagine some of them are, have fun.
Maybe.
You know.
Well, hopefully you had fun.
Yes. Hopefully you
Yes.
had fun. Hopefully you didn't die. There wasn't any horrible, catastrophic
Yeah.
Okay,
events that
whoa.
happened.
Hopefully you're not hearing this after I've died.
Yes, exactly.
Oh no, Luke died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have fun at homecoming. Very dramatic irony.
His final message
Yeah.
to the world.
To
My
myself.
final message.
Oh, I'm getting into a paradox here. All right.
Yeah. All right. So, you guys.
That was the noise of a paradox.
All right.
Entering the paradox.
Well, that's about it. You guys ready?
Well, yeah.
That's about it.
See ya.
That's about it.
Pretty
See ya.
good. All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Peace out, media junkies.
Ba-da.
Mwah.